Okay. Okay, so hopefully we're recording now. We are. So lovely to have everybody here today. As we know, the purpose of today is actually just to, help you feel a bit more confident and stylish with your changing body. I want you to start accepting your body's changes, because it's until we actually accept those changes, we can't address the situation we're in and the change of our style and the change of our shape. So I'll be covering some basic things that you might need to know. I want you to really understand your bodies. So as we go through the presentation, I'm going to talk very much about body shape, proportion and scale, but I'm going to give you some really top tips as well that you can action now, practical top tips. And then I've got an amazing offer at the end of this as well to give you, because I always like to give you a really lovely offer when I'm doing one of these. We're going to start off. I'm going to just share my screen. So I will just be checking with everybody that it has come up. Bear with me. It's not in the right place. Let me just, I'm just going to stop sharing for one moment. It's that thing being in the different room in a different place. Bear with me. Okay, here we go. Let me just present this to you in a better way. Present. I wonder if you could just let me know that that has come up all right for you to see.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah. Thumbs up. All right then, ladies, if you start having any problems hearing me, please do let me know. And if you have any questions, if you just write them down, because I can't always see them coming up in the chat. A camera's not working, that's fine. Okay, so today we are talking about dressing for the body that you have now. So it's the Changing Body Shape Masterclass. Right, let me just get going. So let me tell you a little bit about me, because you might want to know who on earth it is that is presenting this to you today. So I am Sarah. I have two children, two sons who are now 28 and 30. How did that happen? I celebrated my 59th birthday yesterday. In these photos on the top left, I have two sons and I have two stepsons, two stepchildren, a stepdaughter and a stepson. I have 6 grandchildren who you can see just to the bottom there. If I may ask, if anybody's not muted, please do mute yourself. Jenny, may I mute you? Just, yeah. I've done it. There we go. The bottom left photo is my mum with my eldest granddaughter, who my mother is no longer with us, but you can tell my mum had her colours done. Even in her 80s, even when she was very, very frail, she would always have her nails done. She would always be wearing the right colours, and she would be at the hairdresser every week that she could make it in there. On the right, you can see my love of animal print. It goes quite deep. I don't really know where it's come from, but I've had a love of red and animal print for many years, and that's why it became my my signature and my branding. And in the middle is my husband, because this is going to be very cheesy, but he really is the center of my world. So he needed that pride of place right in the middle. As you can see, he loves wearing red as well. So perfect match. So we've asked a couple of questions. I've got a little bit of a feel of what it is that you want. And we'll also ask some questions at the end. Does anybody have any burning questions, either to put in the chat or that they would like to ask at this stage to make sure I cover them? Just give a minute. No. Okay, fantastic. Right, so let's talk about why our body changes. It's this time of life particularly, but it does change right the way through life, right the way from, being, as we said, from puppy fat to puberty. So this time of life, it's very much hormonal changes, perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. I don't really know where we are on that. Muscle loss, which I've done some research on. This is called sarcopenia. And this is just a natural muscle loss that happens as we age. And this will change the way our body looks. We have weight redistribution. Bone density loss can change our height, it can change the way we stand, it can change our posture. We might have skin and tissue changes. Again, these are all natural things that happen to so many of us. And so there's nothing to be embarrassed about, nothing really not to be confident about, because they do happen to everybody. We also, when we go through things, it might be through illness or just through menopause. Our lifestyle and our activity level changes. You know, when we were in our 20s, we might have been doing a little bit more in the gym and maybe not quite so much. And obviously, emotional and mental health changes can also change our body and our body shape. But there are so many other reasons that our body changes. So if you think about illness, I have fibromyalgia and I know my body's changed since I've had that. And you know, that in turn will lead to a less activity and various other things going on. So there are lots of reasons our bodies change. It's completely natural, and we just need to understand and accept our bodies for what they are today. However, what these can do is affect your wardrobe. It can affect the way things fit. It can affect the way whether they're comfortable, whether we actually feel comfortable in our clothes still. You know, we put something on and actually we can still do it up, but it doesn't fit in the same places. So maybe you've put a bit of weight on your tummy or your arms. Maybe you've lost weight. You know, this is not just for people who put weight on. Some people lose weight at certain times in their life and things don't fit them. It can change our silhouette. It can change the outline so that when we look in a mirror, we actually just don't feel as confident as we did, you know, before our body changed. And this is going to affect our confidence, mainly because we just don't understand how to dress. We still want to wear the things that we used to wear, and they just don't work anymore. So what we really have to do is understand what our new body is like, what works for it, what doesn't work for it, and just accept that we have changed. I have so many clients who say, yes, but if I just lost a bit of weight, the thing is that losing weight may not lose it in the areas that you want to lose it. And that's the problem that lots of us have at this age and stage. So we can counteract it by accepting our body of today. We need to look at our bodies and think, we are not that 20-year-old person. We will never, ever be that 20-year-old body again. At 20, if we looked at our bodies as they are today, if I looked at my 59-year-old body in my 20s, I might actually go, do you know what? That's not too bad. That's probably better than I'd have thought it would be at nearly 60. So, and actually, I still care for my body. I still look after my body, which so many of us do. And that's why you're here today, because you care, and that's why you wanted to come along. So accept those lumps and bumps and just work out how to dress them. So we need to adapt our body to meet the needs of our beautiful new body. It's a really great time for changing things. So our body is changing, our mind is changing, our hormones are changing, our emotions, everything at this stage is changing. So it's important for us to change as well. But we can still feel stylish, we can still feel empowered. And actually, one of the really important things is to still feel visible. We don't want to fade into the background. You would not be here if you were happy to just go, do you know what? Had that. I just sit in the corner and let all those young girls. No, we're not going to do that, are we? We want to get out there and really enjoy our life for where we are right now. I went to an event a couple of months ago, and there was a lovely lady there who did herbs. And she did them very much for the time of the month. And she was talking about the way your month goes, and she was talking about the week of your period being your winter, and then the week after is your spring, then it's your summer, then it's your autumn, and it's the same with our age. Your 20s, this is what she was saying, is your spring. Your 30s is your summer. Your 40s is your autumn. Your 50s is your winter. And your 60s is your second spring, which means your 70s is your second summer. And I love to look at life that way. I think that's a wonderful way of looking at it. So I am looking forward to going into my second spring. I feel like it's a time of rejuvenation. So the first thing I want to talk to you about, ladies, is body shape. We need to understand our bodies. We need to understand what they are doing now, but we also need to understand how, if they change, we don't have to completely adapt everything for them. There are 6 main body type shapes. There is the first one, which is the triangle. Body shape is not scary. Body shape is shoulder to hip ratio, and if you go in or out at the waist on a very basic level. Obviously, I've seen ladies with very different shapes, but on a basic level, that's what we're looking at. So the triangle, which I suppose you would call the pear shape, narrower shoulders to hips. I'm going to go into all of these in detail in a minute. The inverted triangle, wider shoulders, narrower hips. The rectangle, shoulders and hips in alignment without much any waist definition. So a very straight body line. The oval, shoulder and hips in line, but go out at the waist. The neat hourglass, which is shoulders and hips in line and a slight waist. The full hourglass, which is shoulder and hips in line, but a much more defined waist and probably wider shoulders and a bigger bust area. So I want you just to have a little think about these and think which one you might come into. Would you like to put in the chat which body shape you think that you might be? Oh, right. Debbie has also put a question in about dressing for top heavy. Thank you, Debbie, for that. So apple, right? So apple would then be an oval, Debbie, who is listening in. Anybody else want to put what they believe they might be body shape wise? Square, Joe? Didn't say square, but we'll go with square. Rectangle. It's fine. It's fine. Erica, neat hourglass. Well, we might have done that quite recently, mightn't we? And Jenny, I'm not sure what body shape you are, Jenny. If you want to pop it in when you can, that would be fantastic. So let's face it, we all come in different shapes and sizes. Oval, maybe, Claire. Thank you so much. I'm actually the full hourglass, just so that we know. Okay, so how are you going to dress these body shapes and what do they even mean? Oops, a bit fast. So dressing the triangle body shape. So the tops and jackets should finish above or below your widest part. So if you're widest on your hips, if you have something finishing on that part, that's where the eye is drawn to. So you need to avoid anything finishing on that widest area. You can either go below or you can go above. Because you have wider on the bottom half, you want to then bring the width out on the top half to give you this beautiful hourglass shape. So you want to wear the color, texture, and pattern on the top half of your body. The bottom half of your body, you should have with clean lines, no pockets, just keep it nice and straight, or nice and clean lines. Jackets and coats should fit at your shoulders, not your hips. Now, if you buy something that you want to zip up over or button up over your shoulders, the width on on your hips, the width on the shoulders is going to be way too big. Any triangles out there will know you sort of move your arm and you get this great big bit of material going here. I can see Joe smiling there. Because you're buying for your hips, and actually it will make you look a lot bigger. You'll be buying a bigger size. You can leave the bottom button undone. You don't need to do jackets up. It can add a lot of weight on. And accessories should be worn to bring attention to the top half of the body. So you want lovely necklaces. I love the necklace on this lady in here, on this, and also show her sleeves are just slightly up, which is raising the eye level again. So that is the triangular body shape. The inverted triangle, wider shoulders and a narrower hip. So you want to keep minimum detail on your shoulder line because you want all the color pattern and detail on the bottom half of your body. Avoid frills, flounces, or anything that brings attention to the top half, as opposed to wearing really big necklaces. You want to be wearing something a bit smaller and something that brings the shoulders in. So just something that comes down beautifully around here. However, you want to bring loads of attention to the bottom half. I love this lady's red tights. If you've come across snag tights, I don't know if anybody has, they do a massive array of colours and patterns. So, it's a great way to be able to bring that in. So again, avoid clothes that hang from the shoulders and don't go in, because that's going to make you look wide. Because your shoulders are quite wide, you don't want anything just hanging straight down from there. The rectangle body shape. So this is where shoulders and hips are aligned, but there's no defined waist there. So what you want to do is add detail, use detail on the hips and the bottom to add some shape. You want to avoid anything that fits and goes down, because without having a shape already in it. So avoid details such as waistbands and belts, because that's just going to accentuate that you don't have a defined waist. However, geometric patterns are fantastic for you, because generally you don't have so many curves, and so you can see these stripes on this lady just look really nice, and they're in still stripes. On somebody like me, the ones that are in the middle would look wider along the bust, and it distorts your figure, and it distorts your look. However, you do want to soften edges with clothes that already have shape in them. So when you look at a jacket, for example, make sure it's already got a little bit of a tailoring, a little bit of darting, and then that will give you shape, as opposed to something that's just straight that can make you look very angular. And you can wear a more structured material. So if you have a very rectangular body shape and you have straight legs and a straight bottom, and you don't have a lot of curves in that area, don't be buying the jeans that have got lots of stretch in, because they are made for women with bigger bottoms, bigger curves, and you'll find they'll go out of shape quite quickly and they will look quite baggy on you. So go for something with a tighter weave, something a little bit more structured. You are very lucky that you can wear things like that. Okay, the oval body shape. Shoulders and hips in line, but you go out at the waist. So I want you to look at this body shape, because a lot of women, if they are putting weight on due to menopause and they get a bit of a tummy, they start to think that they are the oval body shape. And they are not. They are still the body shape. Their shoulders and their hips are still in the same places. They haven't changed. So I don't want you to start dressing as if you are the oval, because then you will hide all the really good bits about you. So please don't sort of just think, if you go out in the front, a little bit of a tummy, that you don't go in at the waist like this, or you don't go in at the back. So many of us have a gorgeous back. But if you are an oval, I want you to accessorize to draw the eye between the bust and your neck. And actually, Debbie, you said about dressing for when you're top heavy. Hopefully, we've covered a bit of that in do you know, sometimes inverted, I wanted to say introverted triangle, I knew it was wrong. The inverted triangle, you can tell I'm going into that age, can't you? But wearing necklaces between this area and this area is really good for you. Clothes should hang from your shoulders and drape just beautifully over your waist and over your body, over the sides of your body, just draping down like this one is. Keep the detail above the bust line and below the hip line. We don't want to draw attention to the middle of the torso. Soft fabrics are beautiful, but avoid too much volume or bulkiness. Wear straighter clotheslines to give the impression of length. This will draw that length up. And just avoid drawing attention to that middle area. So belts, etc., and gathered waistlines are going to do the opposite effect of what you want. So we're now moving on to the neat hourglass. This is what we'd all like to be, I think, in an ideal world. So shoulders and hips in line and gently going in at the waist. So there's nothing to really rectify with this, but wear clothes that enhance your waist. Do not lose that. So if you have clothes hanging from the shoulder, what that's going to do is just lose that waist. And you've got a defined waist. You don't want to lose it. It will add kilos onto you. And you can wear clothes that follow that body line, but make sure that you do wear fabrics with some stretch. So with the neat hourglass, what you need to do is avoid losing that fabulous shape. I hope you're all thinking about these and thinking about where you fit into this. The full hourglass. Okay. Clothes again that follow your body line. Wear fabrics with stretching to avoid stiff fabrics because they will not go over your curves. You'll find that if you sit down in a skirt that's really stiff, when you've got a bit of a curve on the bottom, it will just pull right up and you'll end up with it like a belt. Trousers, unfussy, without pockets or bulky zips at the front. One of those side zips are fantastic. Just avoid anything too boxy. You know, anything that sort of takes that waist right away is not going to do what you want it to do. Wear fluid patterns as opposed to the geometric ones of the rectangle. And again, don't hang from the shoulders. If you look at this lady, can you imagine if she had something hanging from her shoulder? It's going to add probably 2 or 3 kilos onto her waist. So if you have a waist, make sure you keep that waist. Okay, so let's talk about proportions, which are the absolute secret to good dressing. So I don't know if you've ever tried something on and you look at somebody else who's the same height as you and you're like, hang on, how can she wear that? I can't wear that, but she's the same height as me. She's the same dress size as me. It just doesn't work, does it? So if you look at these ladies, the one on the left is low-waisted. The one on the middle is average-waisted and the one on the right is high-waisted. So if you're low-waisted, right, ladies, what I'd like you to do is, and you've done this with me, then Erica, you'll know what I'm going to do. I want you to take a hand just like this and put it underneath your left bust. And then I want you to think about where your waist is. You might want to stand up for this if you want. I want you to think about where your waist is and where does your other hand go to? Do you have, so for instance, do you have 2 fingers underneath? Do you have 4 fingers? Do you have no fingers? Where does that go to? So think about how much you have under your bust to your waist. So we're doing this. Might be 2 fingers, might be 3 fingers, might be no fingers. So just pop in the chat for me. Oops, we've gone into that. Just pop in the chat for me what you have. Sorry, we will go back to this. It's just my screen's playing up. So do you want to write in the chat what you have, whether you have 1 hand, whether you have 2 hands? Okay, let's have a look at the chat. 2 hands, Debbie. Okay, that's lovely. Thank you so much for sharing. Joe's still doing hers. Joe, so what we're doing is we're going. So underneath your bust and think about where your waist is. And then what I want you to do is go to, put your hands like this. And where does your waist come? Okay, that might be 2 hands then, Joe, I suspect. Where's your waist? That's it. Just put your hands on your waist for me, Joe. I can see you. That's it. Now, take your left hand off of the waist, put it underneath the bust next to on the other side. It's like patting your head, isn't it? Right. So actually, that's quite close. So I would say that's a hand and 2 fingers. That's fine. 1 hand and 4 fingers, Erica. Thank you so much. Okay. Let me tell you why I've just asked you to do that. Manufacturers make clothes for 1 hand and 2 fingers. That is what a manufacturer considers the average clothes size woman proportions to be. They make for 1 person in this world. They don't care that some of us have got long waists and high waists and long in the rise and short legs and long legs. They do not care. They make for 1 size 10 and 1 size 12. Now, I have a ridiculously low waist. My waist is, and I'll show you again, is 1 hand, 2 hand, and that is my waist. Hence, I wear dresses all the time. Now, if I wore something that was fitted, actually, let me just come off. I'm just going to stop sharing. Let's do this here. Okay. So I don't know if you want to pin me or to the screen so you can see me a bit more in my hotel room. So the average is 1 hand and 2 fingers. Okay. So if I buy something fitted, this is on my ribs. So this dress, this is where the waist is. My waist is here. Now, luckily, this dress has quite a lot of give in it. If it didn't, then there is no way I could zip this up. If it was a zip up dress, there's no way. If I was, had a jacket, jackets come really high on me because there's a lot of waist. I very, very rarely wear trousers. I love Joe still like having a kid off being around. That's why you need a stylist, Joe. Um, Erica, we obviously went through this. Has this sort of made a difference understanding this about yourself? You can unmute yourself. It would just be nice for everybody to sort of hear what difference it might have made.
Yes, it has made a difference to me. Particularly, I've been looking around. I know there's a shopping trip soon, but I've been looking around at jackets, and I've become very aware that some jackets I might be drawn to don't have any shape. And that's why they don't work on you. You said to me, "Oh, look for ones which have darts in or shape at the waist." So now I find
Yes.
it much easier when I'm looking. I can go, no, no, no. Oh, yes. Oh, wrong colour. So it has become simpler, definitely.
That's brilliant. It makes such a difference. And knowing where your waist is, Debbie just put is 2 hands, medium. 2 hands is actually a low waist, Debbie. So 1 hand and 2 fingers is the average of, not the average woman, but where manufacturers put their waist. Now, if you don't have that, you're going to find things are not necessarily going to fit you in the right area. And that's the problem that so many of us have. And this is why understanding your body is vital. I am really low waisted. I mean, anybody that follows me, so need low waist jeans. Not necessarily, Debbie. If you have a low waist, it means you probably need to bring the jean up a bit because there's so we also need to look at the rise. As Jenny knows, when you start going down this road, there's a lot of things that you need to know about yourself, and I've only got an hour. So we also need to know about the rise. The rise is between your waist and your pelvic bone. Now that's when you start looking at, yeah, I don't want to even think about it, Joe. It's something that you really need somebody who knows what they're doing to look at. But your waist is really, really important. So if you have a low waist, so let me have a look. Debbie, you've got 2 hands and that's a low waist. It's more about when you're looking at waistlines on dresses, on jackets. So for instance, I find that my waist is low, which means when there's a belt to tie up, it sits on my ribs and I'm constantly pulling it down. If you have a high waist, who watches BBC Breakfast with Carol Kirkwood?
Yes.
Yes. So Carol Kirkwood there's virtually no waist. So under her bust, she goes straight to her waist. So if she wears a belt, it literally looks like her boobs are hanging sort of straight over her belt.
Yeah.
You've seen that, Erica?
Yeah, I have.
So it's really important. So, but that will make a massive difference, especially if you have a bit of a tummy, where your tummy is sitting. Debbie, we can have a chat and I can help you a little bit more with that on a personal level. But what I really want to do is just make you aware of these things that it's good for you to understand about your body. I don't want to confuse you. I just want you to really look at your body and understand why they make a difference to how you're wearing your clothes. Does that make sense? Joe, you're looking so confused. It is confusing because this is what I do. I come along and I go, right, you're a this, this, and a this.
No, I'm not confused. That was my intrigued face. I think I've probably spent most of my life going, well, I don't want to show my waist, or I think I've probably done that.
And you've said that you're a rectangle, which you're probably
so.
most of us actually do what we should do. We just don't know why we're doing it or that we're doing it. Does that make sense? So that's because you're a rectangle. And once you understand your body, you can understand why things have happened over the years. You know, why you've not worn a certain style of top or a certain style of jacket, or why dresses always sit in the wrong place on you. Or, for you, Joe, with, rectangle, why do body cons not work on you? Because they just exaggerate that you do not have that waist, that defined waist. So it's really interesting. I want you to, what we're doing today is just thinking about our bodies. in respect to what manufacturers are selling and what clothes we can wear, what shapes we can wear. And our bodies, when we're 20, we can wear anything. We can go anywhere. We don't have lumps and bumps. But I mean, I did actually. But as we get older, it's important to understand these things, to stay confident, to stay visible, to want to put clothes on, to go out and really feel empowered and confident. Sorry, I got my soapbox there. Let's go back to what we're doing. Okay, so we've talked about proportions, and I'm very happy, you know, just to sort of, if anybody needs a little bit of guidance, if I've completely confused you, then I'm very happy to help. Okay, the next thing we need to think about is scale. Scale is vital to stay in balance and harmony. So we have petite, we have average, and we have grande. Now, scale is not about your body size. It's about your bone structure and your height. So when I work with my clients, we talk very much about shoe size. We talk about, you know, look at their wrists, their height. Why do we need to know? This is for jewelry. This is for pattern size. This is for handbag size. If you're wearing a hat, anything like that, you need to understand your scale. If you're a petite, you don't want to be wearing a massive hat because it's just going to make you look smaller. If you're a grande, you don't want to be wearing a little teeny tiny hat because you're just going to look bigger. If you look at the patterns on these ladies, so the petite lady, she's got that light ditzy print. Now, if we put that on the grande lady, it's just going to, there's going to be a lot of pattern. It's going to make her look big. It's going to make her look out of proportion. Imagine if we put that big pattern that's on the grande lady onto the petite lady. She would just disappear. Because if you think about the amount of body there's a lot more body on the grande lady than on the petite. And the lady in the middle is just an average. So a petite, again, it's difficult. It's usually up to about a 5, sort of probably up to about 5'3", 5'4". Average will go from about 5'4" to about 5'8", 5'9", and then probably about 5'8", and then a grande. And also it goes very much on your shoe size as well, because that is your bone structure. So jewelry, if we put a big necklace on the grande lady, it's going to look fantastic. If we put a big necklace on the petite lady, it's just going to look like she's wearing, you know, like a mayoral chain of honor, isn't it? Likewise, if we put a very small dainty necklace on the grande lady, it's going to just disappear. So on the petite lady, it would look just perfect. It's a little bit, we're in Goldilocks territory now. It's just right. And the average lady, she doesn't want too big or too small. And this goes for handbags as well. You do not want to be carrying around a big handbag if you're petite, because it's just going to look like you're going away for the weekend. With the grande lady, if she's got one of these little tiny handbags, she's going to look really odd. So really think about your scale. It's very, very important. And especially when we have areas that we're not particularly liking, if we put weight on, you know, we don't want to put our bodies out of scale even more than they are. Okay, who's ready for some top tips? These are really practical top tips for you. My first one is don't hide the good bits. So you might have a little bit of a tummy, or you might have put a bit of weight on just above, you know, just under your ribs, or you might not like your arms, but don't just wear something that hides everything, because I can tell you, you will have some bits that are absolutely gorgeous. Even if it's your ankles and your wrists, I promise you, there's some amazing areas that you don't want to be hiding. Jackets are a fantastic alternative to cardigans. Cardigans stick to you. And if you have bits and pieces that you don't particularly want to show off, it's not great. It's going to just, they stick to your fat bits. I'm afraid it's just the way it is. I had a lovely client 2 weeks ago, 36 cardigans. I think she got rid of actually 36, and I left her with 12 when I did her wardrobe edit. But jackets are an amazing alternative. You can get so many that have just got a bit of stretch in, so you don't feel like you're like this in a jacket. It's a really great alternative. Erica, I think I've recommended my all-time favorite, which is the Whistles Waffle jacket. If you haven't seen the Whistles Waffle jacket, comes in loads of colors, really comfortable. You can wear it with a dress, you can wear it with trousers. It's just brilliant. Would you agree, Erica? Do I get a thumbs up for the whistle?
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. A scarf draped softly, if you still go in at the waist, and you just have a little bit of a belly, just wear a scarf coming gently down here, and it will hide that area of stomach you don't like, but it will keep that shape and also keep that gorgeous shape at the back. Draw the eye to the areas you want to highlight with accessories, jewelry, hats. You know, if you love this part of your body or don't hate this part of your body, that might be, you know, some people that's as far as they go, is to not hate something. Then wear a lovely necklace. Bring the attention to this area. If you love your wrists, you know, if you love your ankles, wear fabulous shoes. But jewelry, hats, and accessories are a brilliant way to highlight the areas that you do like. Shoes and handbags will love you whatever shape or size you are. So doesn't matter if you love a handbag or shoes, just get them, because everyone, you're going to love them. They're not, it doesn't matter how old you are, where you go, shoes and handbags will love you forever. Please don't cover up or think you're covering up with a tunic. What happens is you wear it really low, halfway between your hip and your knee, and your legs suddenly go like this. From having legs like this, you have legs like this. Always wear any top just on or above the pelvic bone. You will be amazed at the difference that makes. Also, if you follow me on social media, I often share that my clients' looks that we've changed as well, which might be helpful. If you have a bit of a tummy, wearing a dress with ruching at the side that then drapes over your stomach is beautiful, because it will bring you in like this. Not for you, Joe, because you have straight body line. So we just need to be a little bit more careful with that. If it goes in a certain way, it will be lovely, but just be a little bit more careful with that, with a very straight body line. I don't think you're that straight, but just be a little bit careful. V-necks are so flattering. They bring the eye. Most people have a nice area here. So a V-neck is really great, rather than high necks. Polar necks, not great if you're trying to hide, dress for a changing body. Wear your sleeves in line with your narrowest part. So if you have a very big bust and you wear something in line with that bust, then that is going to accentuate that line. So wear it either just below or just above. It's something like this, which has a nice sort of a little bit of puff, but it just sits above my bust line. Wear one color as a base layer, and add color in the form of a jacket, which will elongate your body. So if you just have the one color going down the middle, and then you can add some color on the outside, that will definitely hide any areas you're not keen on. Again, generally go for a shaped jacket, something which has got a bit of a dart in the back, and that's going to be so much more flattering for you. If you want to elongate your legs, if you sort of feel like your legs look short, you should match the color of your tights or trousers, the color of, oh, I didn't write that down properly. Your shoes should match the color of your tights or your trousers. Black tights, black shoes. Navy tights, navy shoes. Nude tights, nude shoes. Blue jeans, blue shoes, blue boots. This is going to give a beautiful elongated look. It's a really top tip. Again, avoid jewelry that finishes on any area that you do not want to highlight. Debbie, you were talking about a top-heavy bust. If you have, there's the 3 H's. With a necklace, you don't want it to hang. So you know what happens? It hangs there. You see ladies with a big bust and they have a necklace and it kind of swings around. You don't want it to hang. You don't want it to hit that area where the bust is, because again, that is going to draw the eye to the bust, which will make it bigger. And the worst thing is the hook. Have you ever had a necklace that hooks around one boob? You want to avoid that. If you've got a bigger boob, you want to avoid the hook. Debbie, I think that one might be one for you. I'll just check in the chat if Debbie's written. Oh, we've got laughing, Debbie. Avoid the hook and the hang. Wear a higher waist trouser or skirt if that works for you. Again, there's so much you need to know about yourself, which includes knowing your proportions. If you want to wear shapewear, I would recommend, oops, sorry, somebody is just trying to come in. Oh, Nicola's coming back. If you're wearing shapewear, I would choose lightweight that doesn't dig in, because anything that's too tight, I'm afraid you're going to find that it's going to come out somewhere else. If you're wearing a short that's very tight, it will come out on the knee. If you're wearing, hi Nicola, if you're wearing it, it will come out on your waist. It's going to come out somewhere. So instead of using shapewear to bring you in, I want you to use shapewear to smooth you out. And that is the beauty of shapewear. There are so many on the market. I highly recommend Marks and Spencer's. They are very inclusive in size. They are very, they have really strong, full weight, very lightweight. They have really sort of pull you in and suck you up, but they also have vests, all sorts of things. But please look at shapewear as smoothing you out rather than pulling you in. If you can only wear a dress with shapewear, do not buy that dress, because you just don't want to have to wear something like that. It's not worth having something in your wardrobe that is that time consuming. So I'm going to go on to questions in 1 minute, but I would just like to give you this offer that I have for you. Now, my Kickstart Your Style Day is $7.50. This includes a mini colour analysis, body profiling. So we go through your shape, your proportions, your scale, and your analysis, scale analysis, all of that we've discussed today. We talk about, do a little mini wardrobe edit. We do I have questionnaires in advance, so I already know what I'm going to bring for you. You'll get support via WhatsApp. You'll get follow-ups a couple of weeks afterwards, and you'll get quarterly follow-ups. But instead of 750, this is just an amazing, I just wanted to give this to you. I am actually doing it for 550. Now, if you book in before Monday, this is, and if you have it before the end of November, and I'm also happy to do this in 2 installments. Or if you've already had this and Erica's going, yeah, we're going shopping next week, I am happy to offer you 25% off any of my other services, because that's 25% off the big one. So I'm happy to offer you 25% off any of my other services. But again, that is the same with dates. So book it by Monday, or book in a discovery call by Monday at least, and for it to be carried out by the end of November. So I hope that you think that I'm giving you a lovely offer today. And, you know, this is just a way, you know, to help as many people as I possibly can. And yes, Erica, you can apply it to shopping next week.
Okay.
You're fine. I also want to let you know that on Thursday, the 10th of October, 7:30 to 9, I have an online seasonal update. Nicola has been to an in-person one that I did before, and you really like the seasonal updates, don't you, Nicola?
I did. I try to attend them all on Zoom now, but that in-person one was brilliant. I remember that.
Yeah. And actually the Zoom ones give you just as much information.
Yeah.
And so what we do is, if you've had your colours done, I will tell you what colours, or even if you haven't, I will tell you what colours are available in the shops for the next 6 months. We will talk about styles, and it's not about going out and buying a load of stuff. It's all about looking through your wardrobe. This damson, mulberry, all of the lovely berry colours, damson, mulberry, burgundy, all of these colours are in this season. I went looking through my wardrobe. I found so much that I didn't even realise I had. So I will show you all the colours, all the styles to start digging through, because being current is so important to be being stylish. We want to stay up, not with trends, but with the styles that are going on at the moment. So that is already up at the moment, and there is a cost for that one, but you also get an email sent to you with all the details of it so that you can action it all yourself. And all that's left for me to say for this part is thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. So back to you, ladies. The floor is now yours. We only have a few minutes, but I would really love to know if you have any questions still. Oh, right, Joe, colours. Yes, your colours definitely change as you get older. They don't change really, really quickly, but if you think the colour of your eyes might soften, your skin tone changes, let's face it, a lot of us were of the era of going and sitting outside in the sun. You know, we've done a lot of damage to our skin over the time. We don't anymore. So we probably have paler skin these days. But it does soften. Our hair will change. And quite often, as we start to go grey, we tend to go a little bit lighter as well, because it's quite hard and quite labour intensive to keep your hair darker. My hair is definitely cooling, whereas I was a lot more, a lot warmer in the past. My hair, especially around here, is quite grey, but I can definitely start wearing sort of warmer pinks. I couldn't wear pink before, but I could wear a very warm pink now. So it definitely does start to change, Jo. And it might be that if you've had an assessment, so say in the past you were a warm soft, you will have had colours that were in both of those palettes. It may be that you change into a soft warm. So instead of wearing the vibrant warm colours, you wear the softer warm colours. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, mine was 100 years ago, so
it's always worth having an update. I mean, every 10 years, I would say, you know, unless you're at that stage. So during my consultations with my clients, I always ask them what they're going to do with their hair. I say, if they're starting to go grey, are you going to keep it grey? Are you thinking of, you know, dyeing it? Do you want it blonder? Do you want to stay dark? It's really important to me to understand, but also I can advise them on, you know, my skin tone does not really suit white grey, because I am extremely fair. Most people don't know that till they meet me or put makeup on me and go, oh, you're very. So yeah, I would definitely suggest that it's worth having it updated, Jo.
Thank you.
Does that help? Claire on chat. Hopefully I did give you some ideas for dressing for a larger bust. Did that answer some of your questions? I don't know if you can come back in the chat and let me know. Anybody got any other questions at this stage? Oh, Erica.
Yeah. Could you help me with one thing, please? You were talking about tops. They shouldn't really go lower than the pelvis, because that's much more flattering rather than a tunic. So I've got 2 pairs of leggings from Mint Velvet, which I absolutely love. One pair you would like, because it's an animal print, and the other one is a kind of soft blue and a velvet, and I absolutely love them. But I don't feel comfortable wearing them with the short top.
Yes.
Because I don't have the bottom of an 18-year-old anymore. And I look in the mirror and think, ooh, saddlebags, that's not a good look. But I don't know what to wear with them. And I don't want to give them up, because I love them. They look great with boots.
Yes.
Any suggestions?
I definitely do. And that's kind of an exception to the rule, because there's always exceptions to every rule, isn't there? Yeah. So if you're wearing a bigger top, you need to wear a slim bottom. So you can wear leggings with a bigger top. What you can't do is, if you're wearing a tunic, wear trousers or a skirt that has got any width to it.
Yeah.
Likewise, if you're wearing wide leg trousers, you want to be wearing a slimmer style top.
Yeah.
So it is an exception to the rule. And yes, you know, skinny jeans, etc., can look fantastic. You know, skinny jeans can look great with a longer top, but don't go too long. Go just covering the area you want. If you go too long,
just to cover the saggy bits. Yeah.
I seem to remember saying you didn't have saggy bits, Erica. But yeah, cover the bits you want, but be careful in covering bits, because what you do is you cover everything. So those tops need to have a little bit of shape.
Yeah, not overwhelming.
No. Yeah. But you can wear a bigger jacket if you've got lovely slim legs, Erica. So if you're wearing these oversized jackets, which are really in fashion, you can wear those, but you need a slim leg to come out of the bottom. Or these wide trousers with a very slim top, and maybe sort of a jacket that just finishes at the top. Right. Does that help?
Yeah, very helpful. Thank you.
Fantastic. Any other questions? Have you found that useful, ladies? Have you picked up? I know Nicola's been in for about 5 minutes.
No, I was there the whole time, but I was driving, so you were on my phone,
Oh,
on my
I'm so
knee. So when
pleased.
you said, "Can you speak?" I couldn't because I
No.
couldn't take my eyes off the road to press the microphone.
I'm very glad. I'm very glad. I
was
hate
just
it.
listening to it all.
Oh, I hate it when people have been in my Zoom rooms when they've like been driving and they've just got their phone there. It just
Oh
fills
no,
me
no, that's
with
why I did my video, and I took you around the supermarket as well. And
dread. I didn't know I'd had such an adventurous evening.
exactly. But the bit about this, the big feet and everything, I found was fabulously interesting because I knew a lot of it, but that was my what's it called again?
Say that again. Which bit was it?
The bit about the feet and your
Oh, the
bones.
scale. The scale.
That's it.
Yes, it's so important because with everything that we do, we want harmony. There's a saying which when the eye sees harmony, it sees beauty. And I love that. And it's so true. We look at nature and we see beauty because everything kind of goes with everything else. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes if there's like a blue trellis out there, you'll be like, oh, that looks lovely. But generally, we want to see harmony and balance. And so scale is all about wearing things that go with our body, the scale, whether you're petite, average, or a grand. I suspect you're average. Think knowing you as I do.
And I know it's something I've always struggled with.
We definitely need to talk about that then.
Yes.
I'm glad you enjoyed that particular bit. Jo, have you enjoyed it today?
Yeah. No, I definitely have. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, you know that I need help. So
we are going to be talking. I know you're booked
know.
in, so I'm very happy for you to have this offer. I can't remember when you're booked in. I think it's
Yeah.
the end of October, but I'm very happy to extend this.
Okay, thank you. No, it has been really interesting. The thought of you coming rummaging through my wardrobe fills me with horror, but you know.
It's not too bad, is it, Erica?
No, it's not. I survived.
I'm very kind, really. Jenny, have you enjoyed today?
I just want to say you've passed. Everything you've said has been spot on. It's been lovely. I've agreed with everything. No, it was lovely to hear it all. It was gorgeous. And I can't put anything on the chat thing, but I'm short-waisted. I'm high-waisted. So when you said Carol Kirkwood, I thought, yes. In fact, I often look at her dresses and think, that's nice, that suit me.
Yes, but then with her, she's somebody sometimes will put a skirt and a belt and literally a black blouse literally sits on her waist. So you're going to start looking at people now.
Yes.
I'm so pleased you enjoyed it, Jenny. And you know,
it's just been lovely to see. It's been lovely to see you.
And you too. And it's been wonderful. We've just a little bit over time. My apologies for taking extra time out of your evening. I really hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope that you will take away, obviously there are all the intricacies, which can be confusing, which is why people like myself and Jenny exist, obviously. But I just want you to accept your body for what it is today and dress your body for what it is today and feel empowered by the knowledge that it doesn't matter if we've got a bit of a tummy or if our bum is getting bigger or if we're 4 sizes bigger than we were when we were 30. It does not matter one jot. You still need to have that confidence and you can dress. I'm not going to make, if you don't love your body, I'm not going to make you be able to love your body, but I'm going to make you love the way you dress it and the way you walk out and the clothes that you wear. So, I really hope that everybody on here takes that away, everybody that's listening and catching up as well. And thank you so much. It's been lovely to spend the last hour
Thank you, Sarah.
with you.
Take
care, and I'm here if you need me.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a lovely
Thanks so much.
Everyone, thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, wait.